Hi, welcome to a new webinar. This webinar will be about the growth strategies of Igor Ansoff, or the Ansoff growth strategies. Igor Ansoff is a Russian-American who invented in 1957 the growth strategies. Now, as you have seen maybe in my other webinars, you need to make a choice in step 5 about a certain strategy. A sustainable competitive advantage is needed when you're making a choice, and you have several options which you can choose from. For instance, Porter, Blue Ocean, Tracy & Wiersma, or maybe even a acquisition or a cooperation with another company. But also Ansoff could be one of your strategies. But be careful, not all the strategies of Ansoff are even sustainable. A few of them are really sustainable and really competitive, but not all of them are really competitive. They are for sure growth strategies. So that's good when you have certain targets or certain goals which are based on growth, for instance, volume or maybe turnover or whatever, and you want to implement them in a short notice, then Ansoff strategies are great to pick from or to choose from. Now, how does it work? You have a matrix, and the matrix is divided in 4 squares, as you can see. On one axis you have the product, and on the other axis you have the market. You can pick existing markets or new markets, and the same goes for the product, so that's easy to remember. You can use new products or existing products. Now, in the top left corner you find existing products in an existing market. We call that market penetration. If we're going to invent new products in existing markets, we call that product development. If we have existing products in a new market, we call that market development. And if we have total new products in total new markets, we call that diversification. Please don't mix it up with differentiation of Porter. Often the two strategies get mixed up. Differentiation, diversification, but these are totally different strategies, so please don't mix them up. Ansoff knows the diversification strategy, whilst Porter invented the differentiation strategy. These are different strategies. So diversification for Ansoff. Let's dive into the first one, market penetration. Let's say we are the firm Coca-Cola and we have a strategy. We have to sell more products. How can we sell more products? We have a growth strategy. If we pick the market penetration strategy, it would be an easy to implement strategy for Coca-Cola. What do? For instance, they're gonna sell a blister pack. They have their Coca-Cola users. Everybody drinks Coca-Cola. But if we make a blister pack and we sell 4 bottles and the third one is for free, for sure people who only needed 2 bottles, for instance, went to the shop and see the blister pack and think, hey, why don't I grab that promotion and get the 4th bottle for free? So we make our customers fuller with our current product, and our current customers, we sell them more of our stuff. Now, within market penetration, there are 2 ways to do so. I can sell exactly my customers who already bought my brand Coca-Cola to let them buy more, or I can do a little bit of the pick from a little bit from the competition. For instance, let's say Pepsi Coke. I know that there are already Coke drinkers, but they are from the brand Pepsi, and I'm gonna try to persuade them to buy my Coca-Cola instead of theirs. For instance, with a promotion. If I would sell, for instance, theater tickets, or buy a few of my bottles and you get theater tickets or your second ticket for free, buy my product in this week and you get this promotion. So at that certain period, people will rather buy Coca-Cola instead of Pepsi-Cola. So I'm kind of land picking, as I always call it. So within market penetration, we have two ways: with my own customers or with customers who already drank Coke but from my competition. Okay, so that's market penetration. Now let's go to product development. So I have my customers, I have my Coca-Cola drinkers, but maybe I see that my turnover is kind of declining, but I want to keep my customers with me. I'm going to invent the green wrap around my bottle. It looks different, it's still my own brand, it feels like Coca-Cola, and my own market, my own consumers still feel great with my brand, but they have an excuse to buy a new bottle a new product. So with these certain modifications of my product within my brand, within my same product market combination, I invent something to make my product special, and within my customer group they start buying different stuff from my brand. So the example of the green Coca-Cola Light, which is invented, that's typical a product development strategy. So that's product development. Let's look at market development. The word already explains. I'm going to develop my market. I have my products, they are successful, but I have to develop my market. There are several ways to do so. The easiest way to remember is when I'm going to sell my product across the border. That's obviously a different market than I'm in at the moment, my domestic market. So when I start selling abroad, then that's market development. But also remember that market development could be that I'm gonna add different segments, different customer groups to my brand. Let's say that we are Tommy Hilfiger and we are always on A locations, expensive streets, expensive stores, but there's a really big customer group that also wants to buy the brand Tommy Hilfiger, maybe their polos or whatever, and Tommy Hilfiger tries to search this market, and maybe they have an outlet store somewhere, not on an A location, but on a location where different customer groups come. And if they find an excuse to sell their polos there, for instance that they are B stock, for instance, then still my brand doesn't get affected, and I sell to a different customer group which doesn't visit the high-class streets or the high-class stores. So that's also market development, when you're attending certain market groups which weren't defined originally. But the easiest way to understand is just looking at a different market, for instance going abroad. But there are several ways for the market development. Now the last one, diversification. This is a really strong strategy. Let me try to explain on the hand of an example. There was this car manufacturer, and they were looking for a manufacturer of plastics for a new type of car with plastic fairing. This price offer went out, and there was this certain company called Swatch of the watches, and they were really good at making plastics, but they already made like 1,000 different types of plastic watches, and they wanted to grow. This price offer came in, and they thought, why not? We're good at plastics, let's try this offer. They won the offer, and they started making the plastics for the smart car. Now you can imagine that for Swatch, which is a watch manufacturer, this was a total different strategy and a total different market and total different product to be in. So this is typical an example of diversification. It's really risky because you try something new with a product which you don't have experience in, customer groups without any experience, but this is really hard to imitate. So this is a really strong strategy to choose, but not really often chosen. So these are the growth strategies of Ansoff. You can use them when you start thinking about a growth strategy. They are really often used for growth strategies. But remember that market penetration, for instance, or a product development strategy, or market development even, is not necessarily really sustainable. Because if you ask yourself the question, is it valuable? Market penetration, for instance, the blister pack, and selling the fourth one for free, so buy 3 and get the fourth one for free, that's not really valuable, it's not really rare, and it's not really costly to imitate. So if you pick this strategy, it will probably be copied pretty soon. This is why not all the strategies of Ansoff are such as sustainable as, for instance, strategies of Porter or Tracer Wiersma or Blue Ocean. So bear in mind that these are really good to implement on a short period of time, and also for to grow fast. Still, they are really interesting and good to look at. I hope you now understand the Ansoff matrix. Thank you for watching this webinar. If you want to stay informed for future webinars, please subscribe to my channel. Also, you can always leave your comments in the section below, or ask me any questions, or if you have maybe any suggestions on different strategies which you want to have explained. Thank you for watching. Until the next one. Bye.